Hello YouTube, once again. Here are some recent purchases from Harbor Freight Tools which I would like to show you. Interestingly, most of these purchases are from the open box section at Harbor Freight Tools. Over there I found some stuff that I needed for cheaper, so that's where I would go for things such as motors, which if you've seen some of the previous videos that I made about these things where I took out the motors, that's what I'm going to do with these. So it doesn't matter that this one was loose and this one is missing some of the drill bits. Normally these motors are $10, but this one was $6 and this one was $4, so I got two of them for the price of one. That's what I would like to think. Another thing which I got is a valve for $3. It's missing a little adapter here, but that's fine. But this valve is pretty useful, especially for vacuum chamber applications. I have a vacuum chamber which I used for a science fair project last year, but I would like to do some upgrades to the vacuum chamber and seal it up better so it can go at a lower pressure. So that's what this will be for. Another thing to look at would be this 1.5 watt solar panel charger. This is that little solar panel that they have. It's the smallest one that's just a solar panel that can charge up a battery. These solar panels are not really used for larger solar installations for their 45 watt. Now they have a 100 watt system. This is just 1.5 watts, so it's not very powerful at all. It's really just used so you can stick it up on your car and maintain the battery while you are not driving your car. This is probably the lowest power solar panel you can even find, even outside of Harbor Freight Tools, but at only $11 I felt that it was a good enough deal just because I could go there right now and get it. I don't know if it has all of its accessories. It is marked as an open box, but even if it doesn't have any of its accessories, I could easily make them myself. There's the solar panel, and you can see that even in this low light situation, it does in fact generate some amounts of power. It's hard to see, but this blue light did blink. I think there's a cloud passing over the window, so it's not blinking as much as it would. This is a very small solar panel. You can see it's really only 2 hand widths across, but it should be enough to charge a small battery. And I will be using this panel in conjunction with a larger 15 watt panel as well as another 5 watt panel. Something I should say right now is these are Amorphous solar panels, so they do good in low light situations but are bad in pretty much all other situations. They have very low wattage for price as well as space that they take up, but they are mainly what are sold at Harbor Freight Tools. And monocrystalline panels and polycrystalline panels, which are more efficient, have to be ordered online, which could result in a little bit more expensive just because of the shipping, even though they are smaller. I guess the idea is you would plug this into your car, cigarette lighter port and it would charge the battery from there. I would think that cars would normally have diodes to prevent back charge into the car. This doesn't seem something your electrical system is really supposed to do in your car, but they do sell jump starters very commonly that use this method. This method is not really what you're supposed to do for charging batteries. Neither is this one using alligator clips, but it provides a direct connection to the batteries rather than going through the electrical system of a car backwards. This is what I will be using anyway, since I will be charging a sealed lead acid battery. You can see these connections just go on like this. See the positive and the negative. I believe these are trailer hitch connections or something similar. I will probably put this with the 15 watt panel, which is also a Harbor Freight panel with the same connection. I might get the hub, which will connect multiple panels together, and that would start a small solar panel setup, which would be one of my next projects, even though it requires little setup. The next thing I got, which was the only thing that wasn't in the open box section, was more protective wire wrap. This is for my robot, so I can have the connections sealed up better from scraping against metal. Okay, so let's do a very basic setup of this solar panel just to see how it works. Right now it is late afternoon towards early evening in the summer, so expect the light conditions to not be optimal, especially considering the angle which the solar panel will be placed at is flat on the window. I will just be using it to charge this 12 amp hour sealed lead acid battery, which I have had for a while. I've used it for powering small devices. I might add a power inverter to use for lighting, as well as maybe a radio or a few other appliances. Our battery is inside of the battery box right there, and our panel is right here. The blue light is in fact blinking. This means we are getting power. For temporary solution of mounting the solar panel, I will be using some black duct tape. I have mounted the solar panel right here. It is vertically, so it is not interrupted by one of these bars of the window. Now I need to wire the battery to the clips. The cable which the panel is provided with is pretty long. I would say it's about 6 feet, which is long enough to run to my battery. Here I have my multimeter. I will put it on the setting to measure voltage, and I will connect the wire leads. It is producing about 14.5 volts. This should be enough to charge my battery. I will now measure the amount of voltage on the battery to compare it. About 12.4 volts. So the battery is not fully charged at this moment. It is about halfway charged. Okay, so now we have our 1.5 watt solar panel connected to the 12 amp hour battery. I will leave this alone. And measure its results again after a few weeks, performing a bit of an experiment to see if the battery has charged or if it has even maintained its current charge. To expand this system in the future, I will add this 5-watt monocrystalline solar panel. Monocrystalline solar panels need direct sunlight, but they are smaller and can fit into less area. I can place one, for example, in this window. It fits along nicely with the other panel and will give us 6.5 watts theoretically, though as explained before, these are not at the proper angle. It will give us less, but this one will still produce more electricity than the other one. Also, a fuse would be added in the event that I have the 15-watt panel in conjunction with all these other panels. Maybe a 5-amp fuse or more would be used. Also, I would use a charge controller. But for now, I will leave this as it is.